Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today we're going to make these very sweet journaling cards. You could use them for a journaling card, or you can even glue them down on 3 sides and use them for a tuck spot. All you'll need for this project is an index card and some book pages. You know those ones that are brittle and you really don't know what to do with them? Those will be perfect. A little doily, maybe about a 4-inch size would be great. And some pictures out of a book. And then, of course, a few embellishments. Now let me show you how I made these absolutely gorgeous journaling cards. So here are my index cards. I have coffee dyed them. So let's make 2. So I'll lay 2 out. They have lines on one side and they're plain on the other. And then I have some 4-inch doilies that I have coffee dyed. So let's see, these, I haven't set them under a book, but this one's fairly flat, and this one, I think maybe this one's even flatter. Okay, that will work great. I have a book. My book here is very old, and it's has very brittle pages. And I'm going to remove 2. Very, very brittle. All right, this is a perfect project to use those brittle pages. So let's go ahead and let's mount our pages onto our index cards. Now I'm going to cover up the side that has the lines. You can choose whichever size you would like to cover when you're making yours. I am going to switch to my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. I'm going to apply my glue onto my index card, just like this. Now, if you are sewing your journaling card, I'm going to turn it over this way so I can get it positioned a little better. You would want to pay close attention to getting your glue applied to the edges well. I am going to sew mine, so if you're sewing, you really don't need to worry that much about getting it at the edge. Now you can always go back around and add a little glue like this, and then making sure that your edge is glued down. That is important for this project. Let's do this one, and a little bit of glue, applying it to the lined side of my index card. And someone's going to ask me what size these index cards are. I'll tell you in just a second. While I'm applying my book page, I'm going to have a little shout out to Denise, Christine, Claudia, Lala Gamma, and Lonnie. I appreciate each and every one of you. I truly do, you guys, truly. Alrighty, getting this down and gluing my book page onto my index card. And then all we'll need to do, I need to find my longer scissors, is trim it out, just like this. Once I get it trimmed out, I will tell you the size of my index cards. You can make these any size you wish. So you do not have to have this exact size of index card. If you have the smaller ones, use those. If you have the larger ones, there are larger ones than these, use those. So whatever you have will work perfectly. So I love the colors of these, all different colors of tans and creams, and with just the flower as the pop of color. I just think it looks so elegant. All right, almost there, you guys. All right, now the size of my index cards are 6 inches by 4 inches. Now I am going to round the corners of all four, both of them. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to sew around the edge, and we'll continue. I have inked around the edge. I have sewn all around the edge, and I've taken the corners off. Now let's find a book. So I have this book here. It's an old book. I'm going to take this off so you can see the name of the title. And inside they have some nice pictures. There we are, like this. They're kind of rectangle in shape, and they have a picture of the flower, and they say primrose, and then they talk about it. They tell about it. So I've removed a few of those pages here, and I thought we could use 2 of these. So I'm going to get my larger guillotine, and I'm going to cut this so I can get the pages out without tearing them. You know, they're stuck together right now. There we are. Now they will easily come apart. Now this one kind of makes me sad because there's a picture on each side. I'm going to set that one aside. I'm going to see if I can figure out something else to be able to show both of those. But this right here, these two, they don't have anything or any picture on the opposite side, just words. So those will work out well for the project that we're doing. And I want to trim this out. So I'm actually, let's see, is my smaller one going to fit in here? It sure will. Making sure that's just one page. These are very, very thick pages. It's a very sturdy book, shall we say. And I'm just going to, I think I'm going to turn it this way. This is a much nicer straight edge right there. So I'm going to trim it, and as soon as I get it trimmed down to the size that I think will work nicely, I will show you, and I will say what size it is. You're just trimming it down so you have a little bit. I can trim a little bit more off the bottom, like this, something like that. Now let's do this one. They might turn out to be totally different sizes. Yeah, this way, this way. That will work out perfectly. Now I'm going to save these 2 pages. These are lovely pages. Let's look and see, what size did these end up being. These are approximately 4.5 by 2.5. And what is this one? This one's 4.5 by 2.5. Okay, 4.5 by 2.5. Now let's bring our cards in that we've prepared. I'm going to put this part right here where the stitching started on the bottom, as well as this one on the bottom. Now I'm going to bring in a coffee dye doily. These are 4-inch doilies, and that's going to be glued right here on the right hand side, just like this. See, it just barely fits. I'm going to add my art glitter glue to my doily. Just going around like this, fill in this inside, and I'm going to place it just like this. And I'm going to grab a little piece of paper towel. I'm just going to wipe it. Now, you know, it's a doily, so the glue is coming through the holes. So it helps to have some type of little something to wipe. Okay, and let's do this one. So just around the edge here, and then a little bit in the middle, like this. And let's get this down, just like that. Okay, wonderful. Put that glued down. All right, now I am going to take my frayed burlap and I'm going to ink around the edge of my picture from my book, just to help it stand out a little bit. Now, if you don't have ink, or maybe you don't care for it, then of course you wouldn't be doing this step right here, but I do like it. I think it really makes things pop. Okay, getting it on here. There we go. Let's go ahead and let's glue this down. Now, I'm wanting to glue it so it's approximately, you know, straight is important. I think I will place it something like this. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. It helps if I line this up so I can see where the lines are past my index card, and that helps me get it straight. So let's see here. Maybe something like this. Here we are. Now we look just like this. Let's do this one. Once again, I'm going to place this so it's straight, fairly straight, and adding my glue to my book page picture. You could use magazine pictures. You could use, you don't have to be, it does not have to be botanical. It's whatever you have that you have. Just use what you have. It does not need to be botanical. Alrighty, so now we look just like that. The next thing is I have some pieces of cream and white colored lace. I even have some vintage rickrack. I think that would be adorable here. I've got some really lovely, I'm not sure, I know it has a name, but I don't know the name of this, but it's really sweet. It's like a trim, and I'm going to use this right here, and I'm going to use the rickrack right here. I'm going to put a little label right here on this corner, maybe something like that. Not sure if I want that one. Do I want one that big? I kind of like that littler one. Oh, let's try this one. Now my dish right here full of these labels are from J. Lee Lou, is where I purchased them from off of Etsy. And I will link that shop down below if you're interested in a few labels. Kind of like that. I don't know, that one might be a little too big. How does a really dark one look? It looks dark. Okay, oh, how about this one? Let's try this one. Let's see, I've got so many in here already prepared and ready to go. It really doesn't matter. I'm being a little too picky here. I need to just pick one and be done with it. I think that's too small. Let's go ahead and let's use, here's a smaller one. Let's use one like that, and then we'll use that one. Getting my little labels back in my dish here. Let's glue our label down first. Now, I'm going to glue just half of the label down because I want to be able to not so much stick this underneath, but maybe just a little bit under, just so it's not, you know, I don't want it on top and I don't want it over here like this. I'd rather have it a little bit underneath. So I'm going to add just some glue on one side of my label. I'm going to stick it down about right there. Okay, now let's do the same thing on this side. adding just our glue on half of our label. All right, now we're going to place a little bit of glue on this. I'm going to call it lace because I don't know what else to call it. I'll pop it just barely underneath. Okay, and then I'm going to add my glue onto my little journaling card here and lay my lace down on top. Now it's curled up right here, so I'm going to glue it down just like that. I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and I'm going to trim it right at the edge of the picture. There. So now it looks just like this. Let's do the next one, and it's going to be the rickrack. So I'm going to glue just a little bit of glue, put a little bit of glue on the end of the rickrack, stick it just a little bit underneath. Oh, I want it a little higher. Underneath that label, and then we're going to apply our glue right here at the bottom of that picture and pop our rickrack right on top. Now I need to go ahead and glue down the other half of my label. I think this one got glued down when I glued that edge. It seeped out. I'm going to trim this. All right. And so now let's talk about this corner right up here. I think this crinkled sari silk from my scrap cabin shop will look wonderful there. And I do have a coupon for her items, and her shop and the coupon code will be listed down below. So make sure you grab that coupon code and get yourself some gorgeous, gorgeous colored crinkled seam binding. Now I'm going to let the crinkles kind of decide how this goes. I'm going to just place a little bit of glue right here at the corner. I'm going to add my crinkled seam binding and press it so it's glued. And then I'm going to trim right there. And let's see, let's just let it fall where it may, however it wants to be, and that will be perfect. Put that there, and then I'm going to pull this one around so it lays off of the picture, adding a little bit of glue underneath and just pressing it down. Just like that. Just like this. I think that, oh my goodness, I think that just is looks so lovely. So I'm just laying this on here like this. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to place a little bit of glue right off the edge, the corner of that book page, and then adding a little bit of glue here and sticking it on the seam binding, sticking that on. I'm going to, put a little more glue right here, press that down here, there we go, and then let's trim it about right there, and there we are, and then right here, just putting a little glue down, and I'm just looking to see how this will fall, just so it gets glued down and it's not popped up so much. There we are. Look at there. Now I'm going to take a little bit of net and I'm going to cut a piece, kind of like a rectangle, but as you can see, it's not perfectly cut, it's kind of jaggedy, and I like that look. I've got some little tiny flowers here. Look at these little tiny flowers. They're very pale, gray and pink, I thought I had one more. I did somewhere, I think. Anywhere. Anyway, I think it's fallen. Oh, here it is. It's kind of a purpley color. So I'm going to grab it over here. Goodness gracious. There. Those are the 3 colors that I have. And which color looks best? It doesn't really matter. They all are quite gorgeous on there. Okay, let's just go with the darker colors. And I've got this. Now, as you can see, it's all jagged, but that's a little bit too jaggedy for me. So I'm going to take that corner, that little point off, and I'm going to kind of scrunch it up. And I'm going to glue it. Do I have my little stick? Here it is. Here's my little stick. I'm going to place my glue right here at the corner. I'm going to take my net. It's kind of, you know, where I want it. It's kind of puckered up. That's the word. It's puckered up. Can you see that? It's kind of puckery. I like that. I'm going to add my glue to the back of my flower, and I'm going to pop it right on there just like that. Just simple little elements really can elevate it to a new level. And I really enjoyed making these. And I really like the fact that I could use my book that had beautiful pages in it, but they were so brittle that backing those brittle pages with the index card really made it so I could use it. I could use the beautiful color of the paper, and I'm very pleased that I was able to salvage that brittle paper. You guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.